As we grow older, something profound and life-changing begins to emerge: clarity. The years of living through countless relationships, challenges, sacrifices, and hard-earned lessons give rise to a deep understanding of what truly matters. Many elders, after decades of life experience, finally begin to see life with crystal-clear vision. Time feels different now, energy becomes more limited, and the importance of protecting our peace becomes non-negotiable. One of the most crucial lessons elders often learn, sometimes too late, is that not everyone deserves access to their time, energy, or emotions. At this stage in life, we realize that just as we protect our physical health, we must also guard our emotional health. Unfortunately, this truth is rarely taught early in life. It is something that only age and experience can teach. The reality is that some people, whether family, friends, or acquaintances, must be kept at a distance if we are to maintain peace, joy, and well-being. On True Life Wisdom, we explore why this understanding becomes so important as we grow older. The first type of person elders learn to step away from is the constant critic. These individuals are always quick to point out what you're doing wrong, whether it is how you live your life, spend your money, eat your food, or even how you rest. They often disguise judgment as concern and criticism as advice, but every interaction leaves you feeling smaller, weaker, and somehow inadequate. While younger people may have the energy to brush off such negativity, tolerance for constant criticism fades with age. Chronic criticism quietly steals joy and weakens emotional and mental well-being, reminding elders that no one, not even family, has the right to drain their peace. Another person elders often distance themselves from is the emotional user. These are people who appear only when they need money, support, attention, or validation, yet disappear when you need help in return. Many older individuals realize too late that they were valued not for who they were, but for what they could give. As we age, relationships must be mutual and grounded in respect and reciprocal care. Creating distance from those who only take is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-preservation, even when the person involved is a family member or a longtime friend. Elders also learn to avoid the chronic drama carrier, those who live in a constant state of emotional chaos and pull everyone around them into their storms. These individuals thrive on conflict, gossip, and emotional turmoil, keeping stress levels high no matter the situation. Over time, constant exposure to drama raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, and keeps the body locked in survival mode instead of allowing it to rest and heal. Peaceful aging requires emotional boundaries, and choosing calm over chaos becomes a natural priority. Another damaging presence is the person who invalidates your experiences. These individuals dismiss your pain, memories, wisdom, and perspective with phrases like, "That was a long time ago," "You're too sensitive," or "You should be over it by now." While such words may seem harmless, they can be deeply hurtful, especially when they come from someone you trust. Elders carry decades of lived experience, and when those experiences are dismissed, it creates emotional isolation even when surrounded by others. Respect is essential, and those who cannot honor your story do not deserve a close place in your life. With age, many elders also learn to distance themselves from controllers, people who try to manage their choices, including where they live, how they spend money, what they eat, or how they rest. Aging already involves certain losses of control related to health and mobility, but losing dignity and autonomy should never be part of that process. Advice can be helpful, but control is harmful. Setting boundaries with those who overstep is a necessary act of self-respect and a way to protect one's independence. Finally, elders learn to step away from the guilt tripper, those who use guilt as a form of emotional manipulation. They remind you of what you owe them, what you should do, or how disappointed they will be if you choose yourself. By using family duty and past sacrifices, they attempt to keep you emotionally trapped. With time, elders realize that guilt has no place in peaceful aging. Saying no is not selfish, it is self-care, and prioritizing one's own well-being is a right, not a betrayal. One of the greatest lessons people learn later in life is that loneliness is not the worst thing in old age. Being surrounded by people who drain you emotionally is far more damaging. Emotional stress accelerates aging faster than solitude ever could. That is why elders often become quieter, more selective, and more protective of their inner world. This is not bitterness, it is wisdom. Avoiding harmful relationships does not mean cutting everyone off. It means choosing depth over obligation, respect over familiarity, and peace over appearances. Some of the most damaging relationships continue simply because they have always existed or because they are tied by blood. Age teaches a hard truth. Shared blood does not excuse emotional harm. The happiest elders are often not those with the most people around them, but those who have learned to protect their peace, knowing who to keep close and who to love from a distance. When time becomes finite, every interaction costs energy, and wise elders learn to spend that energy carefully, an understanding at the heart of true life wisdom.